Fox Sports.
We are CRAWFORD. We are Arizona.
Game number 90 for the Diamondbacks, a Sunday matinee against the Giants, and we've got fun socks for your sad feet, D-backs. Without a win ever since they finally reached Mount 500 and trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. Maybe the socks will help. It's Arizona Diamondbacks baseball, brought to you by the Sanderson Ford. Patrick Corbin, a live shot here inside our ballpark, ready to take them out against Madison Bumgarner. It's the Diamondbacks and the Giants on Fox Sports Arizona. And good afternoon from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthune, Bob Brenly along the way. The finale of this three-game set, the D-backs and the Giants. And as we mentioned, what a pitching matchup we have for you here today, Bob. Mad Bum and Patrick Corbin.
Yeah, a couple of the best young lefties in the game. The Diamondbacks are hoping that Patrick Corbin develops to be the kind of pitcher Madison Bumgarner is for the Giants. At top of the rotation ace, they would especially like to see Patrick Corbin have the World Series numbers that Madison Bumgarner has.
Well, in his last start last weekend, just before the break at Citi Field in New York, Patrick, for a while there, was tremendous. The first four innings, he at one point retired 10 straight.
Yeah, really had good tilt on that slider down and into the righties. Got a little tired at the end of the ball game, but baby steps coming back off that Tommy John surgery.
So Corbin has his work cut out for him here, pitching on his birthday today. He's 26, and he's up against the Giants' postseason hero, Madison Bumgarner. Our national anthem is up next, and it's first pitch, the Diamondbacks and the Giants here on Fox Sports Arizona. starter, Madison Bumgarner, already done with his warm-ups and set to go against Patrick Corbin, a matchup of left-handers here. It's July, home in Arizona. The roof and panels closed for Diamondbacks baseball here on Fox Sports Arizona. But first, we pause to honor America. And here now, the voice of Chase Field, Mr. Chuck Drago.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and please remove your hats. Please direct your attention to the field as we honor the United States of America and pay tribute to our veterans, active duty, and retired men and women of our armed services. The Arizona Diamondbacks and the San Francisco Giants invite you to join in the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner, performed by rising country star and Circle S recording artist Sarah Beth.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
D-backs facing a Giants team looking for its 6th straight win. Madison Bumgarner unbeaten in his last 6 starts here at Chase Field, and the Giants have won all 6 of those starts. So the Arizona Ford starting pitcher for the Diamondbacks has his work cut out for him here today. It's the birthday boy. Patrick Corbin is 26 years old today, and this is his 3rd start following Tommy John surgery. His catcher back there is Wellington Castillo.
He's really young. He know what he's doing. The stuff is there. So the more important thing for him is that he feels really good. He's healthy. So we just need to get his body in shape, like the game going longer and longer, and he will be fine.
Patrick, a winner in his return from Tommy John against the Rockies here at Chase Field July 4th. He had no hit stuff through 4 innings. in his previous start. That was last Saturday against the Mets in New York, but then it seemed he fatigued a bit, started leaving the ball up a bit, and allowed 3 home runs.
I think that was very observant by Wellington Castillo. What he said, he just needs to get his shape, get his arm, get his body back into game shape again. The stuff is there, no question about it. The competitiveness is there. Just needs to get some more pitches in that left arm.
And so many times 2 years ago we would refer to Patrick Corbin as the stopper, a guy who started the season as the 5th starter in the rotation, and now here 2 years later they need him, Bob, it would seem, to be the stopper one more time.
Well, as young as Patrick is, he is the veteran presence in this rotation right now, and it may be a lot to ask of him at this point, coming back off that Tommy John surgery, but it won't be long until Patrick Corbin is that stopper at the top of the rotation.
He's ahead of Angel Pagan, 0-2. Paul Nart, the crew chief, is our plate umpire here this afternoon. Pagan, 2 hits last night. He's hit safely in 5 straight. And a good start for Patrick. 1 down. The lineup for Bruce Bochy's. Bruce Bochy, San Francisco Giants.
Him too. Yep. Angel Pagan at the top in center field once again this afternoon. Joe PANIK will be at second base. Matt Duffy at third. Buster Posey doing the catching once again today. Hunter Pence out in right field. Brandon Crawford at shortstop. Justin Maxwell out in left field this afternoon. Brandon Belt at first base, and Madison Bumgarner on the mound.
You did that all from memory. That was impressive. Joe PANIK, 8th in the National League in hitting at .315.
It's easy with Bruce Bochy. He rarely makes any changes to his lineup. Justin Maxwell in there today, but otherwise the same cast of characters we've seen the first 2 games.
PANIK 3rd in the National League in hits, right behind Goldie. And he's got 7 home runs. He homered just once in 73 games as a rookie last year. A little roller to second base, right to Chris Owens. 2 up, 2 down. Brings up Matt Duffy, and he's been one of the Fab 4 for the Giants in this series.
Boy, I mean, these kind of numbers you'd be lucky to put up in a season against a single opponent, but that's what they've done in the first 2 games of this series. Needless to say, those 4 guys have to be slowed down today.
Well, Duffy back in there in the 3-hole at .302 and 8 homers, just hitting everything right now. A pair of 3-hit games in this series already. And going back to just before the All-Star break, Duffy now with 13 hits in his last 27 at bats. There's a strike, 1-1.
Patrick Corbin is not overly concerned with velocity, but anytime a guy's coming back from a Tommy John surgery or a shoulder injury or whatever the case may be, the radar gun becomes a valuable tool for gauging where he is. And velocity good in the early going, consistently in the low to mid 90s.
Yeah, he was hitting 96 on the radar gun over the weekend in New York, and said afterward he feels confident right now with all his pitches, even after just 2 big league starts following the Tommy John. That's in the seats. But you mentioned the word competitor. That's what this kid is. And he said after the start last weekend, he's not interested in moral victories, no comeback fables here. He's here to get results now, or else he wouldn't be up here. And he expects nothing short of perfection every time out. 2-2 on Duffy. And Patrick in that start against the Mets Saturday just dominated over the first 4 innings. He had no hit stuff for a while. A 2-out single in the first, and then retired the next 10 straight for 4 innings of shutout ball. And he hits Duffy.
It's a glancing blow that time. Duffy will head on down to first base. Take a look at the Diamondbacks defensively here this afternoon. Ender Inciarte in the lineup out in left field. The center fielder will be A.J. Pollock. Yasmani Tomas back in the lineup in right field. Aaron Hill and Nick Ahmed on the left side of the infield. Chris Owens, Paul Goldschmidt on the right. Wellington Castillo doing the catching for lefty Patrick Corbin.
Diamondbacks defense brought to you by MidFirst Bank. Here's Buster Posey. The red-hot David Peralta sits this afternoon against the lefty Bumgarner. Leading the major leagues in extra base hits in July, Peralta. Posey in there. 313, leading the Giants in homers and RBIs. 318, and he adds to that. He knocks it into right. Duffy trips around the bag at second, but he's safely into third.
Buster Posey has become Yasmani Tomas. Everything he's hit in this series has been to the opposite field, partially because that's where the Diamondbacks have consistently been pitching him, outside corner or farther away. There you see Duffy kind of lost his stride around the bag at second base, but still has plenty of time to advance on to third.
So they're on the corners with 2 down for Hunter Pence. Another one of these pesky peas in the Giants lineup. And the way this guy is going, you would never know he'd suffered serious left forearm and wrist injuries this year. All he does is hit. There's a strike on one. It's been 7 games since he returned after missing 30 with left wrist tendonitis. And since he's been back, Pence in those 7 games has 4 extra base hits and 10 RBIs.
You may remember last night's ball game if you were with us. Hunter Pence was wearing the protest orange left sleeve. Today he's going with the Sunday black.
Just wasn't feeling orange today.
You need a fashion coordinator in the clubhouse to make sure guys put on the right uniforms and the right socks and the right hats, and in Hunter Pence's case, the right elbow guard.
Well, Patrick, 2 pretty quick outs, but now he's laboring a bit, approaching 20 pitches in the first. A hit, batter, and a single. He's 1-2 on Pence. Hunter Pence at .300 for the year with 4 homers. He's only played 25 games all season. He's got 23 RBIs. Two and two. Pence with 4 hits and 3 walks in the series. Has been patient up there as well. He has doubled, homered, and scored twice. Almost took out Bill Hayes down there at first.
Hunter Pence, I've talked about this before. Those toys you used to have as a kid that had a little push button on the bottom and the character on top would kind of collapse when you pushed a button, and then you let the button go and it stands up again. That's what Hunter Pence reminds me of when he swings. You hit that button on his feet and everything just goes flying.
That's a foul ball. Jim Reynolds, the third base umpire. Aaron Hill was on it, but it stays 2-2.
Don't have the luxury as a third baseman to wait to hear what the call is. You just got to make the play and be ready to throw across the diamond. Just into foul territory past the bag. Nice diving stop. Aaron was ready to throw, but didn't need to.
And now Corbin about to throw his 22nd pitch of the inning. This was not the start you were hoping for Patrick, who's on a very tight pitch count, of course. Somewhere around 90 or 95 for the ball game. On the ground to shortstop. And a nice play there by Nick Ahmed to range over to the second base bag and keep that one from getting through to center. Corbin escapes trouble in the first, just underway in downtown Phoenix. Well, the Diamondbacks looking for their first win of the second half of the season. And if they'll get it today, they'll have to come against a familiar face. It's your Arizona fourth starting pitcher for the Giants, the lefty Madison Bumgarner, back on the mound after pitching a scoreless inning in the All-Star game on Tuesday. A tough matchup for any left-hand hitter. Here's Ender INCIARTE.
I just try to see the ball off the hand. If he's a really good pitcher, I try not to do too much. Try just to get a base hit and hopefully get on base for my teammates. We have really good lineup. You know, Goldie, Pollock, Peralta, they're all doing really good. So they make my job easy. I just try to get on base however I can.
Bumgarner this year, he's come away with a win in half his starts. He's top 10 in the National League in strikeouts, top 20 in the league in both ERA and WHIP. And no surprises here, his 21st career start against the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, they should be very familiar with Madison Bumgarner and how he likes to pitch. Throws a lot of four-seam fastballs with a little tailing action. Throws a lot of cut fastballs in on the righties and a big curveball. Does have a changeup that he'll use on occasion.
Nick Ahmed leads it off.
And for Bumgarner, a big part of his success is the deception. We talked about it the first 3 times we've seen him this year. Really hides the ball well, throws across his body, just doesn't give the hitter a real good look.
Saw that on base percentage for Ahmed. Throw that out. This is Nick's 9th start of the season in the leadoff spot. And mostly the idea here is his ability to get on base against left-hand pitching. The on-base percentage for Ahmed this year versus lefties is nearly .440.
Take that.
You betcha. He's hit .286 from the leadoff spot this year. Just misses away, and Ahmed's ahead, 2 balls and a strike. And good numbers career against Mad Bum for Nick. Ahmed 1 for 9 with a double in the series. And he's been a little quieter as of late up there. He's 1 for his last 17 overall. Puts this in the air. Behind the second base bag. Panic waving everybody off. And he's got it for the first out. The lineup for Chip Hale's Arizona Diamondbacks.
Different look today, as you mentioned, against Madison Bumgarner. Nick Ahmed at short, at the top spot in the lineup. Ender INCIARTE in left field, making his way to the plate right now. Paul Goldschmidt at first base. A.J. Pollock cleaning up in center field. Wellington Castillo behind the plate. That was Manny Tomas back in the lineup in right field. Aaron Hill at third base. Chris Owings at second, and Patrick Corbin on the mound.
An interesting call, I thought, Bob, for Chip today, because the hottest hitter in your lineup is David Peralta. He's obviously a lefty. You want to get INCIARTE in there just off the DL. He's a left-hander as well. You like Tomas's right-hand bat in there against the lefty Bumgarner. Same with Pollock. One of those guys had to sit. Tough call.
It's a rule. You can only play 3 of them out there.
292 and 2 homers for Ender. Duffy in on the grass at third. Yes, when you start looking a little deeper into the numbers like we did with Ahmed in the leadoff spot, you'll find that Ender has done pretty well against Mad Bum. But he's down 0-2. You ever decide that on the drive home from the ballpark the night before? Well, I got to figure out who doesn't play tomorrow, and you know, you kind of got some different interchangeable parts there. When do you sit down and iron all that out in your own head?
Well, you know, especially with that 0-1 team, we tried to let guys know the night before because they were a bunch of old dudes, and we had to make sure they got their rest and they were ready to play the next day. So in 0-1, it was a completely different situation because we used everybody, and we used them as we thought gave us the best chance to win a game on a given day. Now, subsequent years, it was a little tougher to mix and match and make sure you kept everybody fresh and gave everybody the rest they needed. But that's one of the toughest jobs you have as a manager. You want to keep all your players happy, but yet you want to win the ball game. Sometimes that means sitting a guy that's been swinging the bat extremely well, like David Peralta today.
And having lost 5 in a row here, Chip Hill really needs a win. Good take by INCIARTE. He's back even 2-2.
And the way I always looked at it and tried to impart to the guys who didn't start, like David Peralta today, hey, you're the secret weapon. You know, Bruce Bochy's got a bullpen full of right-handed flamethrowers, and at some point in this game, we're going to have an opportunity to get a matchup that we like.
Crawford charges in from short. INCIARTE can't quite beat it out. 2 down. Take a look at the Giants around their left-hander. Our mid-first bank starting defense for San Francisco.
We've been treated to some fine defensive play from the shortstop position in this series. Brandon Crawford there once again today. And the outfield will be Justin Maxwell, Angel Pagan, Hunter Pence left to right. Matt Duffy will be next to Crawford on the left side of the infield. Joe Panik and Brandon Belt on the right side. Buster Posey doing the catching for left-hander Madison Bumgarner.
Here's Goldie.
You know, I think that last pitch is probably why David Peralta is not in the lineup today. That big curveball has a lot of downward movement. It's more of an off-speed pitch for Madison Bumgarner. We know David's been hitting lefties much better recently, but most of them have been fastball slider pitches. Bumgarner's got that big over-the-top curveball. That's a great equalizer against a lot of left-handed hitters.
Well, Mad Bum has only won twice in his last 6 starts. As you can see, he's done very well in his career against Goldie. Base hit. Knocks it into the gap in left center. Maxwell over to cut it off. Goldie hustling into second. And he's in there. His 21st double.
See Goldie squaring one up. It's been a while since he's barreled the ball, but Bumgarner missed his spot by about a foot that time. Straight over the inner part of the plate, and Goldie whacks it into that gap in left center, taking some liberties there on Justin Maxwell in left field, and he clearly beats that throw to the bag.
Goldie last night 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts. The 5th time this month he's had an 0 for at the plate, but a good start here against Mad Bum.
Another 0-2 base hit for Goldie.
A.J. Pollock batting cleanup this afternoon.
You know, the numbers are just mind-boggling for Paul Goldschmidt in the first half that he had this season. I mean, with 2 strikes, the league average is 174. Obviously, the pitcher's in charge. He can expand the zone. You've got to be a little more defensive. League average 174. Goldie's hitting 295 with 2 strikes.
That's what MVP candidates do. And he has certainly been that this year. AJ's ahead 2-0. He's got 3 hits in this series, including a pair of doubles. He's also scored twice. Mentioned that Bumgarner has really not put too many in the win column lately. 2 wins in his last 6 starts, but the ERA over that span a solid 3.24. The issue has mostly been run support. The Giants scored 3 runs or fewer in 4 of those last 6 Mad Bum starts. A fly ball out to PENCE in right field. Bumgarner strands the 2-out double, no score after 1. Left-hand aces, Madison Bumgarner and Patrick Corbin, no score as we start the 2nd inning here at Chase Field. The Giants and the Diamondbacks. D-backs trying to avoid a sweep. And they were busy this morning. Some roster moves for the Diamondbacks. Chase Anderson, yesterday's starter, sent to the 15-day DL. He's come down with right triceps inflammation. Enrique Burgos, who has struggled in the first 2 games of this series, was sent to AAA Reno. And Danny Dorn is back up here along with reliever Matt Stites. Brandon Crawford leads off the Giants' 2nd.
Danny Dorn got here just in time today to partake in the No Chew crew out there with Vanessa and Mike and Dee Baxter.
Sponsored by Delta Dental. They do a great job on Sunday mornings here sometimes. A great initiative brought to us by Joe Garagiola Sr. here. That's always a big priority for Joe. Avoid the chewing tobacco.
Well, Danny was a big hit out there this morning. The kids really seem to relate to him.
It's funny because Patrick is pitching today on his birthday. Danny has a birthday tomorrow. And he made the mistake of mentioning that. And of course, they broke into happy birthday.
Yeah.
There's Danny Dorn. Well, he's just terrorizing the Coast League down there. I mean, Danny is tearing it up. He's hitting .434 with the Aces this year. Crawford strikes out. 2nd strikeout for Corbin. 1 down. And finally figure a way to get Crawford out.
Crawford chased a bad ball that time. Out over the plate, up a little bit.
Well, a chance for Justin Maxwell today. The right-hand hitter starting against the lefty Corbin. Maxwell out there in left field. He's at .215 and 6 home runs. He's got a little power in there, but he also will strike out a lot. He has punched out 17 times in his last 16 games. He lifts this one in the air, high and deep. It's at the wall, and it's gone. Justin Maxwell, his 7th home run ball, bites Patrick Corbin again, and it's 1-0 Giants.
Maxwell doesn't get a lot of playing time for the Giants and hasn't had a lot of playing time throughout the course of his major league career, but he stays true to form. He usually hits fastballs to the opposite field and pulls off speed pitches to left field, and took a Patrick Corbin fastball that time and cast it high in the air to right field. Just did get it into the front row.
And as we mentioned, the problem for Patrick in giving up those 3 home runs against the Mets over the weekend was location. You could see that time Wellington Castillo had that catcher's mitt down and away, and that ball was up, and Maxwell did not miss it. 1-0 to Brandon Belt. Shoots this one the other way, deep to left center field. A long run out there, and INCIARTE can't get it. Pollock plays it off the wall, and Belt has his 25th double. That one carried a long way out there.
It looked like INCIARTE was at the spot, had a long way to run to get there, but it looked like he was in a position to make that catch. I'm sure if maybe the 2 outfielders had a miscommunication out there in the gap. Right off his glove, it looked like he turned to protect himself against the wall before he had that ball fully in the glove, and it drops for a double.
Of course, Enders started the ball game in right field last night. He's out there in left field this afternoon. But that's never been an issue for him before. He plays all 3 outfield spots all the time. So we'll run in. 1 out. Belt at second. Here's Bumgarner. And we know he can hit.
You have to pitch him like a hitter with a runner in scoring position. First pitch breaking ball from Patrick Corbin. And you could see Madison Bumgarner was hunting a fastball right there, trying to ambush Patrick.
Chase is a high heater there, and Corbin's ahead 0-2. Diamondbacks in danger of ending the first half of the season and beginning the second half by getting swept. 0-5 since they reached that peak of Mount 500 back in Texas. And trying to snap that 5-game losing streak right here. He did not go. Says Ed Hickok's down at first. So hopefully this is just a midseason lull for a team that really does need a win here to continue that turnaround that they started the first 3 months of the year. Chip Hale says this is a ball club now that shows up to the ballpark every day expecting to win. And it's all about a culture change. Trying to continue that. 2-2.
Just judging by the tone of his voice in his post-game interviews the last couple of nights, I don't think Chip is real ecstatic about his way his team has been competing the last 2 days, making a lot of mental mistakes, a lot of physical mistakes, which is something they didn't do hardly at all in the first half of the season.
Called strike 3. 3rd strikeout for Corbin, who rings up Mad Bum.
Speaking of Chip Hale, let's take a look at our Valley Honda keys to the game today. Certainly we want to give a birthday present to Patrick Corbin today and compete. I mean, Chip just wants to see his guys go out there and battle. There's a difference between losing a ball game and beating yourselves, and I think the last couple games Chip and the team feels like maybe they've beaten themselves.
Well, clearly they did that Friday.
Oh yeah.
Had a chance to win that game, had a lead late in the game, and then once it got tied, had chances to win it in extras and just couldn't execute. Pagano strikeout victim his first time. Belt at second, 2 down.
As far as the standings are concerned, a win is a win and a loss is a loss, and you don't really quantify them. But on a day-to-day basis, as a manager and a coaching staff, some losses you can go home at the end of the day and say, hey, we played as good as we could. The other team was better than us tonight. But then there's other losses where you go home and you pull your hair out because you feel like you beat yourselves.
I mean, the Diamondbacks were one of the last teams in the majors to lose 5 straight games. So this is not something that we're used to here. And as you said, it's the way that they've lost the games, at least in this series. Pagan, a switch hitter. He's been much better this season from the right-hand side, which is unusual for him.
Could have something to do with those knee injuries. You know, he's had trouble with both knees, and sometimes it bothers you a little more from one side of the plate or the other. Pagan, throughout his career, he always wanted to turn him around to the right side in a key situation of the ball game.
This year, about 100 plate appearances for Pagan as a right-hand hitter, and he's hitting almost .360 against left-hand pitching.
You see some kind of a brace on that right knee, the back knee from the right side of the plate.
2-2. Of course, he's been just hammered by injuries the last couple of years. Severe back and hamstring problems. This year, it's been both knees. He's been limping around out there. Two pitch.
Hey fans, when the D-backs win, you win at Papa John's. A day after every Diamondbacks win, you get 50% off your regular menu price online order at Papa John's. Enter promo code D-backs50 at papajohns.com.
Corbin at 40 pitches, 25 for strikes. The other way, Goldie's there to collect it, and they strand Belt at second base, but the Giants get one on the Maxwell homer, his 7th of the year. They take a 1-0 lead. Pepsi Limon, made with 2% real lime juice, a little bit of lime and a whole lot of flavor. Pick up yours today, now available at your local retailer. I should also mention, Bob, as Wellington Castillo leads off the Diamondback second, that it's National Ice Cream Day today. And our thanks to there you go, the friends at Cold Stone. We're having ice cream for breakfast up here, basically, because the problem is we're too healthy.
That's way too healthy.
That's been an issue. But thanks to Cold Stone, as usual, they came through big time for us. So if we don't talk much in this inning, you'll know why. We're busy eating ice cream. Dennis Lamb is down there. He's eating a Cold Stone sweet cream bar. We've got the almond flavor up here. Dennis is dripping ice cream all over the microphones, which is really good. That's what you want from your audio guy.
Yeah. Little mint chocolate chip on the mouthpiece.
This microphone smells good. Castillo struck out in a pinch hit appearance in the 9th inning last night, and that snapped his career high 8-game hitting streak. 2-2. There you go, the line at Cold Stone on National Ice Cream Day.
That's it.
Bumgarner bounces that one, and it's a full count to Castillo. Tomas on deck, Aaron Hill in the hole. Are you kidding me?
That ice cream can be slippery.
Dennis Lamb, our crack audio ace, almost dropped his ice cream out of the booth.
Jeez.
3-2 pitch. Ball 4, leadoff walk. Dennis, get it together, will you?
He was just trying to share some of his ice cream with the fine fans down below us here.
The Dennis Lamb Show continues. No!
Right fielder, number 24.
The Dennis Lamb Show, episode 2. There you go.
Close.
Fortunately, it stayed in the yard.
No error on the play.
Well. Some poor fan down there would have been covered in strawberry ice cream. Yasmani Tomas. You never know what's going to happen in here. It's nuts. I noticed, Bob, that Dennis has his own graphics package. I'm surprised that Ralph Kelso, the Ralph Kelso spot on weather forecast, hasn't demanded his own graphics.
I imagine his people are in negotiations right now.
I've had it. That's it.
Ralph's going to walk. We might lose him. 1-1. Ralph's a pro. 305 and 5 homers. Last time the batting average was this low for Yasmani was May 16th. So been a little quiet as of late. Struck out as a pinch hitter last night. Up the middle and into center. There you go. A base hit. First 2 have reached for the Diamondbacks. Trying to answer that Maxwell homer.
Third baseman, number 2.
Right back where it came from, over the mound and on into center field. Good to see the offense jump starting here at the bottom of the order. Aaron Hill in the lineup today for Jake Lamb against Madison Bumgarner. He'll get an opportunity here with a couple guys on base.
And here is Aaron at 214 and 4 homers. Castillo, the runner at second. Tomas at first. Nobody out. Strike one. 24th start this year at third for Aaron Hill. He's played more innings at third this year than any other spot in the field.
You'll notice that strawberry on the right forearm of Aaron Hill. I assume that was on that diving play on the foul ball down the third baseline as he skidded into foul territory. I'll tell you what, if you're a baseball player, especially if you slide head first.
It goes through Duffy again, just like the Owens ball last night. Andy Green puts the brakes on Castillo at third, and they're loaded with nobody out. That was hit hard. It got through Duffy and into left. So it was right to Maxwell out there, and really no time for Andy Green to send Castillo home.
Number 16, Chris
This is almost an identical. Actually, it isn't. That time the ball went over his glove. Last night it went underneath his glove, but a very similar play. Just a lean to the left, and Olay, the ball gets through into left field.
And just like last night, they scored a single. So the bases are full. Nobody out for Chris Owings. Castillo at third, Tomas at second, and Hill at first. CO 231 and 3 homers. He's got 3 hits in the series. Chris also walked twice in this series. Saturday, the first time all season he drew a walk in consecutive games. And he'd only done that 6 times previously in the big leagues. So starting to show some patience up there. This in the air, short left center. Castillo at third is going to have to hold. And they can't get the run in. Now the pitcher spot is coming up. Just not quite deep enough for the slow-moving Castillo at third.
Yeah, Maxwell throws pretty good too, especially when he's got a head of steam coming in toward the infield. No chance to really attempt to send Castillo down the line that time. It's not deep enough. You see Maxwell even times it perfectly, so he catches that ball with his momentum going right toward home plate. Got to get something out of this.
Patrick Corbin now. Takes a big cut at that one. One and one. Diamondbacks have won the last 2 games against the Giants that were started by Madison Bumgarner. A chance to take the lead right here and continue that trend. Diamondbacks beat Mad Bum last time they faced him June 12th at AT&T Park. 1-2.
Diamondbacks pitching staff this season has 21 hits on the year, but they've yet to have an extra base hit. It would be a good time to break that seal. Find a gap. Well, Patrick does have an extra base hit in a bases loaded situation already in his career. Hit a triple with the bases loaded.
Settle for a slow roller through the infield here. 2-2.
POSEY dirt dogging back there this afternoon. He's had to block a couple of those Madison Bumgarner curveballs in the dirt already.
They had to put their backup catcher Andrew Susak on the DL before the game. He injured his thumb last night, so Sanchez is back up. Corbin just does get a piece and stays alive. Yeah, Susak a thumb sprain, so Hector Sanchez back up from AAA Sacramento today. Short. Crawford. Panic. Oh, no. First base umpire Ed Hickox makes a big call in the ball game. A safe call there gets the Diamondbacks a run. So hold the phone here.
It sure looked like with the naked eye that he beat that out.
Yeah, that's not even close. So this will keep the inning alive and tie the ball game. The headsets are coming on here.
Good for Patrick Corbin to bust it down that line. He realized what was at stake. If the Giants turn the double play, the Diamondbacks are out of the inning after a bases loaded, nobody out set up. So Patrick beat that relay throw to first base. At least it certainly appeared like it.
That was exactly the ball that Bumgarner was hoping to get, a ground ball double play to get him out of the inning, but it was hit a little too slowly to Crawford there to get 2 with Corbin, a good athlete, busting it up the line. And this is a Diamondback challenge. It's another replay review brought to you by Mix One. And the fans here have seen the replay that we just showed you.
Clear and convincing evidence. There you go.
We got the crew chief Paul Nart, the plate umpire, and Ed Hickok's the first base ump over there. And the headsets are coming off. And here is the result from New York. Safe at first. The game is tied.
That's a perfect example of why replay is good and why I think it's important. I mean, just think how angry Diamondbacks fans and Diamondbacks players would be if that call stood. No replay available. Even though Ed Hickox clearly missed that call by a wide margin a couple of years ago, you'd have just had to wear it.
So we update our replay review standings brought to you by Mix One. 20 calls overturned in games involving the Diamondbacks this year. Here's the leadoff man, Nick Ahmed, who takes ball one inside. So that's a fielder's choice. 6-4 on the putout at second. And an RBI for Patrick Corbin. You've got Tomas at third and Patrick at first with 2 outs. Get in front of that camera, Brenly. Put down the ice cream.
Horsehide Sunday.
Well, I know we can't put Dennis Lamb in front of the camera because, as we saw with the ice cream, that could get ugly. Might lose Dennis. Then who would host the Dennis Lamb show? Have to get another Lamb.
There's plenty of them around here.
Sure are. Thank goodness.
You know, watching Dennis fumble his ice cream and nearly drop it into the stands reminds me of back in the day. I think it was 1999. We were doing a disco night or 70s night or something here at the ballpark. We all had our wigs on and our costumes, and we had a lava lamp sitting on the railing here as a backdrop for the open of the show, and just bumped the lava lamp ever so slightly, and it started to go. We were able to grab the cord, but it was just dangling out there over the fans.
The lava flow almost took some fans out.
You know, a scoop of ice cream hitting you in the back of the neck's no big deal. You know?
Well, I think what we need to do is put a cord on Dennis Lamb. We just tie him down. 2-2 pitch. Out to Pence and right. And that'll end the inning. The Diamondbacks strand 2, but they get 1. After 2, we are all tied. Johnson's journey to the Hall of Fame with a series of features leading up to his big day in Cooperstown. Tomorrow, meet his first and last strikeout victims, Orestes Destrada and Adrian Gonzalez. Randy Johnson, the road to Cooperstown, part of tomorrow's D-backs Live pregame show, only on Fox Sports Arizona. And that's where the 51 will go up there on August 8th. And the MLB Network just did a tremendous hour-long special that aired this week, and it'll be re-airing leading up to the Cooperstown festivities on MLB Network. Bob Brenly was one of the stars there. You were talking about the new Randy that we've come to know here now that he's retired. As you said in the show, I never knew this guy.
No, not at all. And I'm glad I didn't. I like the Randy I had.
Yeah, that one worked out pretty well.
Yeah, you really did. I mean, everybody competes in their own way. Some guys can joke around and have some fun. Other guys need to get into a zone. Well, Randy had his zone, and everybody knew it. Everybody respected it, and he went out and performed just in an unbelievable fashion. I want to know when they're going to have a show with the other 4,873 strikeout victims.
It'll be like a telethon.
Yeah. Orestes Estrada, delightful guy. I had the opportunity to go to Germany a couple years ago with Fox Sports, and Orestes Estrada was one of the guys in our traveling party, and he's a lot of fun. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, I got to work with O for a few years someplace else. He's a lot of fun, the big O. Joe Panik grounded out his first time. But if you get a chance, check out that Randy Johnson special. Bob Brenly's in there, and Gonzo's in there, Gracie. A lot of good interviews and some great old highlights and photographs. Geddy Lee, of course, Randy's a big Rush fan. And the guy from Metallica actually narrates it.
James Hetfield.
Yeah. So it's quite a program.
Of course, we have no way of knowing, but you just wonder, we like Randy that we see now. He's very relaxed. He likes to have fun. He likes to laugh. But, would he have achieved the same results and had the same effect on opposing hitters if he was Mr. Chuckles back in the day,
I find it almost impossible to believe that he would have. That was part of his thing.
I mean, half the battle was guys just didn't even want to play against Randy. Forget it. I don't want to be in the line. My neck hurts. My left neck hurts. Well, guys always sat against Randy if they had the opportunity. That's crazy.
Well, that's not the start to the inning that the Diamondbacks were hoping for. You get the run back. You got the heart of the order coming up in the third, and Patrick walks the leadoff guy, Panik. And now you've got Duffy and Posey and Pence and Crawford coming up. Fox Sports Arizona's Todd Walsh headed to Cooperstown. Todd is actually from that area, not too far away. And so I hope he's bringing some of his garage stuff and he can sell it around town. Raise some money to buy Ralph Kelso a graphics package.
He could set up a card table out there by Pete Rose on Main Street.
There's Ralph. Ralph's he's our crew meteorologist.
Nice.
As Jim Cantori once said, Ralph puts the meat in meteorology.
That's right.
So we're looking for sponsorship opportunities there. Talk to your people, Ralph. 0-1 to Duffy. He'll keep Panik close.
Did we get an updated forecast? I mean, a lot can change in, whatever it was, 10 hours since we were here last.
Well, again, the problem with Ralph now is everything's got to be cleared beforehand, and there has to be rehearsal, and all the paperwork has to be buttoned up. And it's not as easy as it used to be when you get big time like Ralph is. Shoots this one out deep to right. Tomas at the track, at the wall, and he's got it. Yasmani Tomas. One away.
Yasmani Tomas. You see him reaching back with his right hand. He knew he was getting close, but he wasn't quite there yet. He just has a real good feel for where he is when he goes back to that wall.
As we always tell the visiting broadcasters when they come in here and ask us about Yasmani Tomas, we say the same thing. He's a lot more athletic than you think he will be. And that was another case in point. So 1-out now for Posey. He singled his first time up. He's already got 5 hits in the series. He's also walked twice. fly ball, left center field. Long run for AJ, and he runs it down. How about that? Go get him. That's a lot of ground to cover out there.
He ran a long way. He didn't quite get all of it, but got enough of it certainly to drive it into that gap for extra bases. And AJ said, "Not on my watch."
Well, that's what makes him so good out there. It's always that route to the ball, isn't it?
Well, look where he started from. He was a good 10 or 12 steps over in the gap in right center and runs back to left center to make that catch.
2 down for Pence. I guess it's Inciarte's turn here in this inning. Pence hit into a fielder's choice his first time up to win the first. Patrick's ahead 0-2. He could use a quick inning here, especially after that leadoff walk. Try and catch up on the pitch count a bit. Although those 2 hard hit balls deep to the outfield do make you a little nervous. After the Giants had a homer and a double in the previous inning. Hunter Pence used to be the guy that made this team go as Angel Pagan at least 3-4 years ago. Now it's Hunter Pence.
Almost 2 runs per game more offensively for the Giants when Hunter Pence is in the lineup as opposed to when he's not. That's a difference maker.
And he's only played 25 games all year. That kicks away from Castillo, and PANIK moves in. Yeah, Pence initially was hit on the left forearm by a pitch very early in the Cactus League season. Kept him out to the middle of May. And then re-injured that area, the wrist area more so, on a diving catch in the outfield and missed another 30 games. And it's only been 7 games since he's been back. 1-2 pitch.
And unfortunately, we've seen a lot of it when guys have been injured with the Diamondbacks, and you go through the process of healing the injury and then getting it back into shape again, and then ultimately going out on a rehab assignment. But Brian Sabean, the general manager for the Giants, said there is no point in sending Hunter Pence out on a rehab assignment. His swing is so messed up, what's he going to do? Let's just throw him back in the lineup. So both times he came back off the DL without a rehab assignment.
Yeah, he's been back 7 games now. He's hit .345 with 10 RBIs. It's this one behind the Giant dugout and out of play.
Hey fans, today's game is being broadcast on AFN, the American Forces Network, reaching out to the U.S. Armed Forces serving around the world on land and on ships at sea. We welcome you, and as always, we thank you so much for your service.
Our servicemen and women all over the world. Welcome to downtown Phoenix, the Diamondbacks and the Giants. Another 1-2 to Pence. You know, Pence, while he was out, they rigged up a thing where he could keep his timing right, training his eye. They had him stand right next to a tennis ball machine, 50 feet away. And they fired tennis balls in there at him at 130 miles an hour. And he would stand there with only his right hand and hit one-handed with his game bat from 50 feet against the tennis ball machine, throwing a $130. How about that?
I've seen that particular machine. We had one in spring training one year down at Tucson Electric Park. The idea is you're not really even supposed to swing at the ball. You're just, supposed to recognize the pitch and just kind of bunt it. Just so you track the ball at 120, 130 miles an hour. And you can imagine when you get in there against a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, it looks like it's just floating up to the plate. But yeah, I could see how Hunter Pence would get fired up for a challenge like that.
Just hacking one-handed with his big, heavy game bat. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here it is. Base hit. This will get PANIK home from second and make it 2-1 Giants. Hunter Pence is at it again. He's in there with an RBI double. Patrick just not able to put him away that time, and it's 2-1 Giants.
And started to make mistakes up, and this is a mistake that stays up in the zone. A slider that just didn't get down to that back foot. And most hitters in a 2-strike count, they're ready to hit fastball because that's the fastest delivery that pitcher is going to throw. And when you throw an off-speed pitch that stays in the strike zone on a 2-strike count, those usually get hit pretty hard.
Well, Hunter Pence continues to hit. Try and get Patrick through this 3rd inning. That pitch count is approaching 60. And for a guy who's about 90-95 pitches max, that's not where you want it. Crawford will be the hitter. Crawford a strikeout victim his first time. He's down 0-1.
Just keep an eye on Patrick Corbin and the location of these pitches. That bat, as longer it went on to Hunter Pence, the more he was missing up in the zone. That delivery right there to Brandon Crawford was up in the zone.
Yeah, Patrick last weekend against the Mets at one point had retired 10 straight. He had struck out 4 consecutive hitters, 5 of 7 at one stretch, but then bam, a home run against the lefty Lucas Duda to lead off the 5th. A 2-out walk in that inning, then the opposite field home run by the pitcher Matt Harvey. A homer by Tejada to lead off the 6th. He looked fatigued out there, and as you mentioned, Bob, the ball started to creep up there with its location. And suddenly Patrick, who looked like he had no hit stuff for a while, his day was over quickly. Behind in the count to Crawford, 2 balls and a strike.
Giants have already had 6 batters in this game see 5 or more pitches in an at bat. That'll run that pitch count up there in a hurry. The 2-strike foul balls, the 3-ball counts. I mean, you even think back to that first inning when he hit Matt Duffy. It was on a 2-2 count, so it took 5 pitches before he hit him and put him on base. Go ahead and drill him on the first pitch.
More efficient. Well, Crawford chases a high fastball. Castillo hangs on, but the Giants take a 2-1 lead. Hey fans, now's the time. Tweet us your best fan photo. Just remember, use the hashtag AZDataStrongFan. That's AZDataStrongFan. And maybe you might see your picture in our Diamondback broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. The photos are pouring in. Ender Inciarte leads off the third. Diamondbacks down 2-1. Ender grounded out his first time up. He's 0 for 1. A triumphant return to the starting lineup for Ender last night. He was 3 for 5. A double and an RBI. Back after missing 24 games with that right hamstring injury suffered June 15th at Anaheim. Duffy in on the grass at third. Ender swings away, bounces it to Belt, who makes a nice glove hand scoop for the first down in the third. Here's Goldie, who doubled his first time up today. He's got a homer this year against Bumgarner.
Back on April 16th, a long tater to left field at AT&T Park.
A matchup of NL West heavyweights. It's been advantage Mad Bum for the most part, as we showed you last time up. Goldie .235 career against Bumgarner, but he's had his moments. Begins the day leading the National League in hitting and leading the majors in RBIs. We've talked about the Goldie fatigue factor. He will never talk about it. It's not who he is, but the numbers do make a case for getting him perhaps a little more rest earlier in the year. For his career, Paul is a .316 hitter before the All-Star break, but that drops to just over .270 in the second half of the season. So there is some wear and tear, it would seem, at least based on the numbers.
And the slugging percentage drops off nearly 100 points as well. .567 in the first half, .484 in the second half. It's one of those things. I mean, Goldie is very much a creature of habit. He's got his routine. He has things he wants to do every day in preparation for a ball game. But as you move forward in your career, the numbers in your body will tell you sometimes maybe I need to make a little bit of an adjustment. You know, maybe not take extra batting practice every day. Maybe cut back on the weight room a little bit more. Every player goes through it as you progress in your career. And, it's pretty hard to argue with Goldie's results. Even though they're down a little bit in the second half, they're still better than most.
Bumgarner bounces that one. Now it's a full count, 3-2. Well, everybody wants to see Goldie. You don't want to come to Chase Field and not get to see Paul Goldschmidt. But his career OPS drops by more than 120 points after the All-Star break. That's a pretty significant drop. 3-2 pitch. And there's such a thing as high leverage innings for pitchers. A lot of those innings are high leverage for Goldie as well, because he knows his value to this team and this organization, his importance in the lineup every day. They depend on him. And that's another thing to consider.
Yeah, I mean, he never has an at-bat where the pitcher's out there on the mound. I'm just going to throw it down the middle and let it put it in play.
Not once.
Never will he have an at-bat like that. Every time he steps to the plate, it's 2 outs in the ninth inning of Game 7 for that opposing pitcher.
Man, over 162, that's tough. You're not getting any cookies if you're Paul Goldschmidt. At least not on purpose. He bangs that one into left. Goldie 2 for 2. That's what makes baseball great, watching these matchups, a battle of wills here, Bumgarner and Goldschmidt.
I mean, Bumgarner down, and away from Goldie, but makes that one little mistake, and I'm talking just a matter of a couple of inches. He missed his spot that time, and Goldie just ripped it into left field. And we've heard Paul talk about that a lot. You know, you have to hit mistakes. These guys at this level are so good that if they execute their pitches, nobody's going to get any hits. So you have to be ready if they make a mistake and make sure you put a good swing on it, barrel it up, take your chances.
Well, he's got A.J. Pollock in the cleanup spot behind him today. Yasmani Tomas down to 6th in the order. A.J. flying out to right his first time up. And A.J. having a solid month. He's over .330 in July, including a pair of homers. .299 for the year. That one misses away, and A.J.'s ahead 2-0. Nice crowd on a Sunday matinee in downtown Phoenix. The Diamondbacks and the Giants. Game 3 of a 10-game homestand for the D-backs to open the season's second half. Marlins come in for 3 starting tomorrow. And then the Brewers on Thursday for the first of 4. Old friend Gerardo Parra will be here. A.J. shoots that out to right. Pence at the track, runs it down. 2 down.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Well, that's the second time of the ball game now that A.J. Pollock has been up there and hit the ball hard and deep the other way against Bumgarner. But he's got nothing to show for it, 0 for 2.
Got a pat on the backside from his hitting coach Turner Ward. It's a small consolation when you get back to that dugout, but I'm sure his teammates and the rest of the coaching staff are telling him, stay right there. Good approach, good solid contact. Can't guide it after you hit it. Just keep hitting it hard.
Castillo walked and scored his first time up. And Welly in 27 games with the Diamondbacks. He's got 5 homers and 15 RBIs. And has become a middle of the order bat for this ball club. I didn't know what they were going to get when they got him. A guy that had already been with 2 teams this year, the Cubs and the Mariners. But here he is, and now he's one of the key bats in the lineup, at least has been for the last month. That's in there for a strike, 2-1. Last game with the Cubs was May 17th. 4 days later, he made his Mariners debut right after the trade from Chicago. Last game with Seattle was May 31st, so that's a whirlwind month. And he was on his way here. And all he's done since he's been here is catch pretty much every day and hit. So he's been through a lot. Oscar Hernandez's big league debut behind the plate last night. And his first major league hit, a double against Jake Peavy.
These two teams are following the pattern that they've been in all year long. Most runs scored in innings 1, 2, and 3 in a ball game in the National League. Diamondbacks are #1 on that list. 152 runs scored in the first 3 innings of a game. They had 2 Friday night, 1 last night, and 1 so far today. Giants 3rd on that list in the National League. They had 1 Friday, 4 Saturday, and so far 2 today in the first 3 innings.
Making Mad Bum work a bit here. He's at 62 pitches with 2 outs in the 3rd. It's full. And now Goldie will be off from first with a pitch. Belt will play behind the runner. Tomas would be next. There goes Goldie. Castillo strikes out. That's the first strikeout from Madison Bumgarner. After 3, he leads it 2-1. Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Boys and Girls Clubs help young people reach their full potential through programs that promote character, leadership, education, healthy lifestyles, and a whole lot more. For more information, visit foxsportsupports.com. 4th inning on a Sunday afternoon at Chase Field. Diamondbacks trail the Giants 2-1. Patrick Corbin out there. He'll work to Justin Maxwell, Brandon Belton, Madison Bumgarner, the lower third of the San Francisco order. Maxwell homered his first time up, his 7th of the year. There you go, National Ice Cream Day. Nice work.
Yeah,
that would
on top.
be like a cherry on top. Unless Dennis Lamb drops it on your head, that's another story. Was Maxwell with 1 out in the 2nd, his 7th of the year. And you saw Castillo move that glove right to the middle of the plate. Set up, down, and away, but Patrick left it out over the plate. Maxwell didn't miss it. They're supposed to get Nori Aoki back soon. He's been out for a while with a fractured bone in his leg. He has been taking batting practice here this weekend. But between Aoki out and Pence has missed most of the season, Maxwell's played a lot. He has started nearly 50 games in the outfield, almost all of it in right. He's out there in left field today. Spent most of last year in the Royals system in AAA Omaha. Just a handful of big league games with Kansas City. And he strikes out. 5 strikeouts for Corbin, 1 down in the 4th.
Good slider down and in that time from Patrick. I mentioned it during Maxwell's first at bat when he homered. Usually takes fastballs the opposite field and pulls breaking ball strikes, but that time he put it in a good spot down and in, got Maxwell to swing right over.
Baxter's Den, a busy place on a Sunday at Chase Field. Baxter signing autographs. He's very accommodating. Belt doubled his first time up.
All right.
Look at me and say cheese.
Baxter really digs his job. I'm not sure who's happier, that kid or Baxter.
He's really good at it too. One of the best.
Oh, not so sure. Maybe not. Maybe next year.
That was a little too much for him.
He may have had a bad experience in the past with Dinger, you know.
Well, I mean, don't get me started on Dinger. Most people do have a bad experience with Dinger. Dinger, the front-running mascot. Hey, you can celebrate Baxter's birthday next Sunday, July 26th. First 5,000 kids receive the D-backs insulated lunch bag, courtesy of Arizona milk producers. Get your tickets at dbacks.com. Oh, absolutely shatters the bat. Corbin puts the glove in front of his face to protect himself. That was some firewood coming at him right there.
Boy, that one splintered several pieces out in front of home plate. The handle laying back in the on-deck circle and the barrel spiraling out onto the right side of the infield.
That looked like the bird that Randy Johnson hit. Just watch this.
Wood flying everywhere.
Boy, all the way up from the handle to the top of the barrel, that thing.
Patrick knew the barrel was coming that direction. He was turning to possibly run over and cover first if necessary, and just covered up his head in case that bat came close.
We'll try and make quick work of Bumgarner here and get out of a 1-2-3 fourth, and hopefully under 80 pitches or so. And that'll work. An easy roller right to Ahmed. After Corbin, a 1-2-3 fourth. Diamondbacks trail at 2-1. In part by Cox Gigablast. How will you live the gig life? By Lone Butte Casino. You're in for more winning moments at Lone Butte Casino. And by Jack in the Box. Taste the new black pepper cheeseburger today, only at Jack in the Box. Home in Arizona, the Grand Canyon. Diamondbacks trail the Giants 2-1, set to the bottom of the fourth inning. Futures Field here inside Chase Field. They're coaching them up. Coach Sean Payton down there, one of the best in the business. This guy is just absolutely tireless, Coach Payton. He does that all day long.
Touch him up, over here. Over here. All the way home. Really, touch home. High five, man. High five.
One of the great sights here at Chase Field on a Sunday afternoon. Yasmani Tomas, a single his first time up, leads off the fourth. The single was Tomas's first hit in the series. He had been 0 for 7 with 4 strikeouts. Had Bum lost his footing on that mound that time. Hottest team in baseball right now, Bob Brenly. The Kane County Cougars.
Wow.
Diamondbacks low A affiliate is absolutely rolling right now. They beat the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers today 1-0. The Kane County Cougars, they play halves of seasons in A ball. They are 21-3 in the second half of the year. And they've got some really good pitching.
Wow. Is that good?
You'll take it. Zach Curtis, who was the closer at Hillsborough for the Hops last year, is closing at Kane County this year. He's moved up a level. He got his 21st save today in a 1-0 win. 21-3 to open the second half. The Kane County Cougars.
A name we've mentioned before on telecast, Wei J. Wang, having an unbelievable season down there in 48 2/3 innings. He's only given up 38 base hits, struck out 51 against only 10 walks.
He played in the futures game for the international, or for the world team, I should say. So the front office, and there they are. A lot to think about. It's an organization loaded with young pitching talent at all kinds of different levels, high up in the system and at the lower levels as well. Tomas strikes out for the 5th time in the series. Deshaun Watson on the left, David Stewart on the right.
Aaron Hill.
Second strikeout for Bumgarner. Here's Aaron Hill. I think they're texting each other.
Where are you?
Aaron singled his first time up. Of course, the trade deadline coming up in about 2 weeks. So, phone everybody who's got a phone in a front office is probably on it right now. And the question they ask about every team this time of year: are you a buyer or are you a seller? I'm not sure about this club.
Renters.
Duffy at third.
It makes it a little bit tougher with that second wild card spot in both leagues. You know, a lot of teams feel like they're still in position to make a run at it. Maybe with one more pitcher, one more bat. Well, that's where you really, really have to be realistic with your expectations and plotting out the future of the organization. And it's easy to fall in love with your guys, and you know, we're not that far away. One more player, but you really have to be realistic about it. You can't be idealistic.
Chris Owings flying out his first time. So President and CEO Derek Hall and his wife Amy here with us today. If you're within eyesight of that wild card, though, you got to keep playing like you're in it, because you are with 2 wild cards. But first you got to turn this 5-game losing streak around. A team that was 42-42 and had finally gotten to 500 has not won since. Swept by the Mets to close the first half of the year, and in danger of getting swept by the Giants to open up the second half. Two and one. That's in there for a strike. We talked about some of the young pitching talent. Mentioned Zach Curtis, who's doing a great job closing at Kane County. Cody Reed, who was the Diamondbacks' second-round pick last year out of a high school in Alabama. Big lefty, 6'3", 245. He was working on a perfect game the other day for Hillsborough. Owings tries to bust it up the line, but Brandon Crawford throws him out, and that's the end of the 4th inning. So Bumgarner is now retired 5 in a row. He's got a 2-1 lead.
If you are celebrating your birthday here in Chase Field, the Arizona Diamondbacks and Old Stone Creamery.
And Sherlock on the phone just to make sure that Owings, who made it close, was indeed out. Here's a look.
Celebrate the special day with the delicious ice cream.
The Giants will walk off the field. challenge from the Diamondbacks, who trail it 2-1 after 4.
We go to the Purple Vault. This actually happened on July 18th, 2001, but the next day, Randy Johnson, as a relief pitcher, comes in and punches out 16 Padres. I've told the story many times. After the explosion, Randy Johnson Hall of Fame bobblehead coming up on Saturday against the Brewers. You must have this collectible, no question about it, courtesy of Fry's Food Stores. I want one of those.
I got one right here. Bounced over the mound. Ahmed behind the bag.
Bruce Bochy was managing the Padres at the time, and Curt Schilling had started the game for the Diamondbacks against the Padres. So Boch did what he likes to do, loaded up with left-handed batters against Big Schill. The transformer blew. The game was suspended until the next day. It was Randy's day to pitch anyway. It couldn't bring Curt back, so he called over to the office.
I was going to say, that when you got the phone call?
Yeah.
Hey, you're going to start the big boy, ain't you?
I said, yeah, Boch, I'm afraid so. He had Mark Kotze and Ryan Klesko and a number of other left-handed hitters in his lineup, and Randy just mowed him down.
You're going to start the big fella.
Joe Panik. Panik walked and scored his last time up. He's 0 for 1. This guy's been a whole new problem for the Diamondbacks to worry about in this division. He's just been killing them. 11 games against the Diamondbacks this year. He's hit over 400. And including today, he scored 10 times. 10 runs in now 12 games. And he just keeps getting better. This is his first full season, Joe Panik. A terrific second half as a rookie last year. Walks are up, strikeouts are down. He's hitting fewer ground balls, more fly balls. He's getting the baseball up in the air more often. Just like that. Skies it along the left field line. Aaron Hill in foul ground. That's 6 in a row retired by Patrick Corbin.
Third baseman, Matt Duffy.
Patrick right now at 81 pitches, 51 strikes. Somewhere 90 to 95-ish is the hard cap on his pitch count. Nothing doing in the bullpen just yet, although guys are kind of loosening up. Nobody's throwing as of yet, and now right on cue, Randall Delgado will start to warm up.
Now, Patrick Corbin is due to lead off the bottom half of the inning. That could have something to do with Randall Delgado beginning his warm-up procedure.
He waited until they got that second out. Duffy's been hit by a pitch and flying out 0 for 1.
looks more like a guy that's getting ready for the next inning rather than to possibly come in this inning.
That's in the seats. It's funny because they want to get him, you know, close to 100, 90, 95. That's the limit, but they'd like to get him there to build up, lessen that fatigue factor we've talked about. But right now you're kind of in that little tweener area where hopefully you don't get quite to 90. Because you get out of the inning, you want to get the outs, obviously, but you also want him to get the work into. It's a fine line. 1-2 pitch. I mean, his first start off the Tommy John surgery, Patrick was almost too efficient. They wanted to get him some work, but he needed only 76 pitches to get through 5 innings in that game against the Rockies. This is out to Tomas and right. And Patrick Corbin retires his 7th straight Giants hitter. Bottom 5 coming up. Diamondbacks down 2-1.
Sunday Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is presented by Sanderson Ford. And for you multitaskers out there while you're watching the game, you can also log on to foxsportsarizona.com to catch my web exclusive with Andy Green. The third base coach breaks down some of his day-to-day duties. Plus, we talk about his playing days here in Arizona. And while at Chase Field, it's all about baseball for Andy. Green admitted it's all about the peak at home, where he and his wife are raising 3 young daughters. And he told me there happens to be a lot of dancing that happens at home and some tea parties as well.
Yeah, he's got his hands full, Greeny, no doubt about it. Mike Harkey and Chip Hale talking to Patrick Corbin, who has retired the last 7 he's faced, just under 90 pitches. But Danny Dorn, just up from Reno this morning, will hit for Corbin to lead off the 5th, so Patrick's day is over here. And he gave up only 2 runs on 4 hits. But among those 4 hits, 2 doubles and a home run. Walked 1, struck out 5, retired the last 7 he faced. That is skied up in the air behind the plate. Posey will give it a look, but it's in the seats.
We talk so much about Patrick Corbin and getting his arm strength back so he can pitch deeper into the ball game, throw more pitches if necessary, but it's a whole body thing. It takes a big toll on your lower back when you're pitching, your legs, and it'll be probably at least a few more starts before he gets physically where he needs to be to take off the limits. Just let him go out there and be a big league pitcher.
Bumgarner at 80 pitches now, 49 strikes. 1-1 to Dorn. Check swing foul. Danny just up from Reno this morning. 5 for 29 with the Diamondbacks this year. He has been terrorizing the Coast League. for Phil Nevin's Aces, hitting .434 at Reno this year. He's slugging over .660 at Reno.
Those are Xbox numbers.
I betcha.
Hey, kind of a funny situation. Danny Dorn pinch hitting for Patrick Corbin, and Chip Hale was down at the end of the dugout talking to Patrick about his outing. And hey, you want this pinch hitter in the game? There is a certain protocol. The home plate umpire will not insert a pinch hitter into the game until the manager actually points at the guy and says, yes, that's my pinch hitter. So home plate umpire Paul Nart was waiting and waiting. They didn't know where Chip was. They had to track it down at the end of the dugout.
And Dorn strikes out to open up the fifth. 6 in a row set down by Mad Bum. And as soon as Nart got the signal from Chip, he signaled up to the booth here for the PA announcer to introduce the pinch hitter Danny Dorn. So everybody was on hold there for a while the conversation it's still ongoing. What is that conversation like?
Well, I assume with Patrick, they're just kind of taking inventory. How do you feel? Was there anything that was really bothering you out there today? We noticed in your last couple innings, some of the pitches were getting up a little bit. Were you feeling fatigued? Were you overthrowing the ball? What was causing you to elevate those pitches? Just kind of a general evaluation of the afternoon.
It's a process, there's no doubt about it. Back after 16 months off. Nick Ahmed now. Scott Chan is there in perfect position. Nice play, Scott. Our Golden Glover down the left field line.
Attaboy.
Kathy Grant down there in right, awaiting her opportunity. Poised and ready. Boy, she is focused. Look at that. Locked in. Pop up to the second base area. Panic calls for it. He's got it 2 down. Brings up Ender INCIARTE.
You know, our Golden Glovers, I'm a big proponent of glove hand toward fair territory. And we don't have that here today. It's a little bit of a risk. You got the right-handed glove right next to the wall there. Anything that hits the wall, you're going to have to play the carom anyway. And I think I'd rather have the left-handed Gold Glover down the right field line and vice versa, the right-hander on the left field line. So we'll do some.
Talk to Dr. Ed Lewis about that. Dr. Ed, get on that.
I think he's got plenty on his plate right now.
Sure does. Well, it's the little things. Dr. Ed Lewis, who runs the analytics department here for the Diamondbacks. Ender 0 for 2 so far. Bumgarner just slings that one in there. You can see the scar from the Tommy John surgery right there on Patrick's arm. Most pitchers have one these days, it seems. Two and one. That's in there for a strike fastball. 2-2. Now at 90 pitches, 56 strikes. Mad Bum, of course, beat the Diamondbacks here at Chase Field on opening day. Diamondbacks got him the next time. 4 runs, 6 hits, and 7 back in the middle of April. His 3rd start of the year. And they beat him June 12th at AT&T Park. Although he pitched really well. 8 innings, 1 run, 9 hits. That was the game in which Chase Anderson took a no-hitter into the 7th. And the Diamondbacks won it 1-0. So Bumgarner got hung with a loss in that one. And today, starting against the D-backs for the 4th time this year. And the 21st time in his career. Ender Slaps it the other way. Get out, ball. Justin Maxwell laying out and makes a tremendous catch. Took extra bases away from Ender Inciarte. Maxwell, a big guy out there. 8 straight now, set down by Mad Bum. Through 5, Diamondbacks down 2-1.
Sports Arizona is brought to you in part by your Valley Honda dealers, where you'll get more standard features for less money. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Mix One, great taste, no face, available at local retailers.
A beautiful day in Cave Creek here in downtown Phoenix. Diamondbacks trail the Giants 2-1 as we start the 6th inning. And the new pitcher for the D-backs, the right-hander Randall Delgado, on in relief of Patrick Corbin.
At this stage of his comeback, we tend to overanalyze everything Patrick does, but I'd have to say today it was another huge step in the right direction. Did lose his command a little bit in those last couple of innings, but still managed to avoid major damage.
Buster Posey leads it off. He's 1 for 2, a single in the first. Yeah, it's all about the process for Patrick. How's the stuff? How do you feel? The results, you want those, obviously, but at this point for him, it's more of a big picture thing. Posey launches that one toward the foul pole, and it's a loud strike 2. Jumped on that one. Hit it right to a Giant fan.
We probably weren't expecting a ball up there in the second deck, but
not hit that hard.
Woo.
And he chases that changeup down and away for the strikeout. Good pitch there by Randall. 1 down in the 6th.
Well, that's a good pitch if a hitter is that far out in front of your fastball and crushes it 400 feet foul. Come back with a changeup down in the dirt low and away. Got a real weak swing from Buster Posey that time.
Randall Delgado is gluten-free. I guess. Hunter Pence. Speaking of gluten-free, is there gluten in kale?
Oh, I don't know. I told the story last night. He was on that paleo diet, which
caveman diet.
Caveman, yeah, they eat what the caveman would eat. And his body fat got down during his team physical 1%. They told him mix in a donut.
Yeah, I had the same problem.
Yeah, me too. That's yeah. Yeah, but how'd you like to get that diagnosis from the team doctor? Hey, you need to eat some more junk.
Now the Hunter Pence sign trend continues. That happens at every ballpark in the big leagues now.
Hunter seems to enjoy those. He likes to collect his favorites. Tweet out some photos now and again.
You know, certain communities seem to attach themselves to certain players, and I don't know if there's ever been a better fit than Hunter Pence in San Francisco. I mean, just an oddball.
Riding around in that scooter in San Francisco, it's perfect. Just perfect.
His pants hiked up above his knee. Just, you know, he takes his craft very seriously, but he doesn't take himself seriously. I think the city of San Francisco has really taken Hunter under their wing.
2-2 pitch. A little flare off the fist and out to Owings. Well, Bruce Bochy had Pence in an all-star game, and went and told Brian Sabean, you know, we need a bat. This was obviously a couple of years ago, and I think Hunter Pence would be a good fit here. And that was part of it. They wanted the offense, obviously, but they also thought that this is a guy that will really fit in our clubhouse, and boy, is he ever. And now they gave him a 5-year, $90 million deal. He's in the second season of that contract. Brandon Crawford, he has struck out twice, 0 for 2. Jim Reynolds says, you betcha.
I'm trying to think of some other guys. I mean, the late Tony Gwynn, former teammate of Bruce Bochy's down in San Diego, seemed to be a perfect fit for the Padres. You know, kind of laid back, easy going, like to laugh, like to have a good time. Derek Jeter in New York, very, very polished, you know, never said a controversial word, was always there, stand-up guy.
Boy, Crawford's up there hacking today.
Joe Charbonneau in Cleveland.
Joltin' Joe Charbonneau.
He used to open beer bottles with his eye socket.
In one good year, what was it, 77, 78 maybe?
Gracie in Chicago, you know.
Gonzo here.
Yeah. Certain guys just seem to fit really well in the city they play in.
Yes, he wins. Crawford strikes out for the third time today. A 1-2-3-6. The good job there by Randall Delgado. Here's what's next, brought to you by CenturyLink. Speaking of Paul Goldschmidt, he'll lead it off. Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you in part by USAA, proudly serving the needs of the military community for over 90 years. Home in Arizona, Diamondbacks and Giants, bottom 6th we go. Paul Goldschmidt will lead it off. Diamondbacks down 2-1. And the new pitcher on in relief of Madison Bumgarner. It's the right-hander George Kontos, who's really been good lately. He has given up just 3 runs in his last 23 relief outings, a 1.65 ERA. Goldie 2 for 2, a double and a single. So Bumgarner out of the ball game after he retired the last 8 Diamondbacks he faced.
93 pitches, not an inordinate amount for Madison Bumgarner. Kind of surprised to see him coming out of a 2-1 ball game.
I think the All-Star game had anything to do with that. He pitched 1 inning on Tuesday.
Yeah, that's a good point.
How to protect the franchise.
Yeah, Bruce Bochy knows better than I do about his pitchers, and his starting pitcher today, Madison Bumgarner, and he's looking big picture. We talk about big picture all the time, and when you go to the World Series every other year, you tend to have your eye on that last month of the season as much as you do on the game today.
Goldie hits a high fly ball to right. Hunter Pence is under it. Retired Goldschmidt for the first time today. 1 down in the 6th. Well, it will be interesting to see over the course of the second half of this year if there's any hangover with Madison Bumgarner from all those innings last year. Between the regular season and the postseason, he threw 270 innings, the most by a Giants pitcher since 1973. So we'll see if there's a carryover effect.
A lot of people think that's what happened to Matt Cain, throwing all those extra postseason innings. It's taking its toll.
Matt Cain needed elbow surgery last year and then missed the first 3 months of this year with another elbow problem. There's Matt Cain. I'm wondering if he's going to be the same guy he was before. Well, he was the man in that 2012 World Series team.
Was he ever?
That year he started 37 games, including the playoffs. The Giants won 24 of them. And went on to a World Series, their second of that one every other year deal. But Cain has been hampered by injuries ever since, and since that 2012 season, he's 11-18 with an ERA over 4. 1-1 on Pollock. Base hit for AJ. Dunks it into the gap in right center. Running it hard, but he'll hold it first with a 1-out single.
Fans, today USAA honors all of our service members at home and abroad.
Wellington Castillo.
One of the great moments at any ballpark that we travel around to all summer is when they ask that the former service members or first responders, police, fire, whatever the case may be, to stand up and be recognized. It's always a special moment at every ballpark we go to.
Including this one, certainly. Castillo has walked and struck out. He scored a run. In fact, Patrick Corbin has the only RBI for the Diamondbacks today. A fielder's choice. D-backs have out-hit the Giants 5-4, but trail it 2-1. Chip Hale, a guest on our latest episode of D-backs podcast, was telling us that it was actually Dave McKay as far back as spring training who, when they were talking over the catching situation, he kept saying, there's this guy, Wellington Castillo, in Chicago. I was on the Cubs staff. I work with him there. Doesn't seem like he's going to get a whole lot of playing time with the Cubs this season. He can hit, he catches and throws. We should take a look at him. And eventually they brought him in here, but Chip said it was Dave McKay who was the first guy on that bandwagon. it's really worked out.
Really, the only knock on Wellington Castillo in his time in Chicago was he would have lapses occasionally behind the plate. And we saw a pass ball in the ball game a couple of nights ago, which we had not seen from Wellington Castillo since coming over to the Diamondbacks. But you'd like to think that's something that's very easily fixed. Focus on every pitch. Offensively, no issues. Guy has power, has a good eye for the strike zone.
There goes Pollock. Castillo fouls it off. AJ got a good jump that time. Well, of course, the Cubs started out with 3 catchers. Well, he was number 3. So they trade him. Now they're without Miguel Montero, who's got a thumb. He's going to be out about 6 weeks. They have Kyle Schwarber, one of their top prospects. The rookie who's back up now with the Cubs. He was up earlier this year. So at first they had too many catchers. Now they might not have enough.
You know, of course, every player is different. It's a very subjective thing. But I like what Joe Maddon did. He called him up and put him in the 2 spot in the lineup right away, right in front of Anthony Rizzo. You know, so many times you bring a guy up from the minor leagues. He's been a 3 or a 4 or a 5 hitter, you know, his whole career in the minors. He gets to the big leagues and finds himself in that 8 hole. And that is a tough way to start your career with a pitcher hitting behind you.
Castillo strikes out for the 2nd time today. Yeah, that's a classic Joe Maddon type of thing. He seems to be a guy who thinks about things like that, which is why players seem to like playing for him.
Right fielder.
Slider that time from Contos. Castillo to his knees.
Well, here's Yasmani, who has singled and struck out. He's 1 for 2. Another thing Chip told us on that podcast episode was about Yasmani Tomas and his youth. He's still a kid. He said, you know, he was there, of course, in Oakland when they had Yoenis Cespedes. And he said Cespedes was a man. Yasmani's more of a kid. You forget, he's still just 24. Learning his way around. That's where Ariel Prieto really comes in. Bounce to Crawford. And Contos works around the 1-out single. Through 6, Diamondbacks trail at 2-1. Oh, yeah. Chevron upcoming pitching matchup. Marlins in here tomorrow night for the first of 3. Ruby De La Rosa and David Phelps. So dig into that one.
Diamondback Live pregame show until 6 o'clock. Good pitching matchups in that series. Tuesday, Hellickson and Latos, and hold the phone. Wednesday, Robbie Ray and Jose Fernandez. Good. Now the question becomes, BB, once the Marlins leave on Wednesday, the Brewers come in for 4 starting on Thursday. Thursday is when Chase Anderson was supposed to start next, but Chase, as of this morning, is on the DL. And so the $64 million question right now is who starts on Thursday? They don't know yet. Delgado back out there to work to Maxwell to open up the 7th. You've got a number of choices. Jhoulys Chacin, the former Rocky who they signed and has been pitching in Reno. He actually pitched last night for the Aces, so he would be on track to pitch Thursday if you wanted to go that route. Aaron Blair, one of their top picks from a couple of years ago, pitched last night for Team USA, so Aaron will also be theoretically lined up to take that start Thursday.
Zach Godley, another guy that I believe is on the 40-man roster and would line up to pitch that particular day. I think Chacin, they would have to make a roster move to get him onto the 40-man roster if he was the option that they choose to go to.
And you could ham and egg it. You could, put Josh Colmenter out there. You could piece together Chafin and Delgado. They've done that before too. As of right now, nobody knows who's going to start Thursday against the Brewers. Maxwell is homered and struck out, 1 for 2. This was Justin Maxwell against Patrick Corbin, 1 out in the 2nd. And if you missed it earlier, Chase Anderson this morning went on the DL, 15-day DL. Right triceps inflammation. Enrique Burgos, who struggled badly the first 2 games of this series, sent to Reno. Danny Dorn and Matt Stites have been called up from the Aces. They're both here today. Dorn struck out as a pinch hitter earlier in the ball game, and there's Matt Stites. Delgado behind on Maxwell, 3-1. And Randall, one of the strengths of what he brings to the table is Andrew Chafin gets busy in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. He can give you some length back there. But Delgado worked 2 innings in that Friday marathon through 37 pitches. And he just worked a 1-2-3-6. So back out there for his 2nd inning of work today. Maxwell lifts it in the air to right center. Plenty of room for AJ, 1 down. Great view. High above the bullpen in the left field corner.
Can I move yet?
Well, they got Brandon Belt coming up. The lefty Chafin looks ready. The shift is on defensively. But Delgado will pitch to Belt, who doubled in the 2nd. He's 1 for 2. Ball 1.
And once again, you've got a situation where the pitcher spot is due up 3rd in the bottom half of the inning for the Diamondbacks. That's why I'm sure Chip would like to just get Randall through this inning cleanly and then just pick a pinch hitter for that pitcher spot. Otherwise, you might have to make a double switch.
Well, pitcher spot for the Giants is up next, and Contos is out there in the on-deck circle for San Francisco. So we're at that point in the game where both the managers have to start thinking about that stuff. Delgado behind now, 3-0. There's George Contos. Has worked 1 inning in relief of Madison Bumgarner. There's a strike. Here's breaking news for you, BB.
Okay.
There's a rain delay right now in San Diego.
Huh?
Yeah. I'll give you one guess as to which team they're playing.
That's not even fair. That's easy. The Rockies.
You're right on the money. The worst weather team in baseball.
They travel their own tarp.
I mean, that team's a disaster. They need Cantori with them, or at least Ralph Kelso. Just the 7th rain delay in the history of Petco Park right now. There's the R.
That ballpark was built in 2004. It opened up in 04. And right now the Rockies and Padres in a rain delay in San Diego. 3-2 pitch misses, and there's a 1-out walk to Belt, and here comes Contos. Bringing that weather with him.
Pitcher George Contos.
So Contos will hit with 1 out and Belt at first. It's a good bunt down. Delgado is on it quickly. Owings over there to take the throw, and Belt moves up with 2 outs.
Hey fans, when you're out here at Chase Field, we invite you to play Kachinko by signing up at one of the 16 interactive kiosks right here at the ballpark during any Diamondbacks regular season home game.
So with Belton second and 2 down, they'll work to Angel Pagan, who will flip around and bat left-handed for the first time today against the righty Delgado. Pagan so far 0 for 3. His OPS this year coming into the ball game about .630, which would be by far a career low, and about 150 points below what it was 3 years ago when he was such a driving force on that World Series team in 2012. Neck injuries, back injuries, hamstring injuries, 2 bad knees this year. And Pagan just turned 34 earlier this month. And after that 2012 series, they gave him $40 million. And he has not, through no fault of his own, been able to live up to that dollar figure. And he's got 1 more year to go on that contract.
He's riding a 13-game hitting streak here at Chase Field. Danger 0 for 3 in the ball game tonight. He's hit .386 over the course of that 13-game hitting streak.
Yeah, the previous 2 seasons he played in barely over 160 games. Back and hamstring problems. And he has now gone 616 at bats without a home run. That's the longest active streak in the major leagues. And as you said earlier in the series, he was never a big home run hitter anyway, but he was, you know, good for double-digit homers or so.
He'd pick his spots, 2-0, 3-1 counts where he could guess fastball middle of the plate in and try to jerk it out of the ballpark.
Yeah, more of a doubles hitter, line drive type hitter. That's in there for a strike, 2-1.
Randall Delgado up to the 27 pitch mark now in his outing. First 25 pitches this season, opponents hitting .238 against Randall. After the 25th pitch, it jumps up to .348.
Yeah, Delgado got the loss here Friday. Worked 2 innings. Gave up a run on 3 hits, also walked 2. This is in the air out to INCIARTE and left. And a good job by Delgado. Works around that 1-out walk. Bottom of the 7th coming up. Diamondbacks trail the Giants 2-1. But first we pause to honor America here at Chase Field with God Bless America.
Please rise and sing along as we pay tributes to our great nation with the singing of God Bless America.
Chase Field, I'm Kate Longworth. Saturday was a day Oscar Hernandez will never forget as the 22-year-old made his first major league start behind the dish with 40 friends and family members watching from his home in Venezuela. Oscar connected for his first major league hit and took home that ball and a lineup card as souvenirs. He also scored his first big league run and told me that when he crossed the plate, that is when he started to realize his dreams were coming true. Of course, the 100 text messages on his phone after the game also helped. And it also brought back a lot of memories for Buster Posey, who made his catching debut for the Giants here at Chase Field. Buster told me he had his eyes on Oscar last night, and you know, he also made his debut at 22 years old, same as Oscar. And if Oscar can have the career Buster Posey's had so far, I would say we're heading in the right direction, guys.
Aaron Hill leads off the bottom of the 7th with a base hit to center.
Well, Bob, that's something that you mentioned last night. It's one thing, and it's great to get that first big league hit, especially a double against Jake Peavy. But as you said, coming all the way around and crossing home plate really does kind of add something extra, doesn't it?
I think it does. I could be way off base, but you know, you get a base hit, he's going to get a base hit at some point. You know that. It's nice he got it in his first game, but then to come around and get on the plate, you really feel like I'm now part of this team. I've done something to try to help us win a ball game.
Well, Hill, a leadoff single. He's the tying run, nobody out. Down 2-1 here. Chris Owings steps in. Pitcher spot is up next. Cliff Pennington is in the on-deck circle. He would hit for Delgado. Daniel Hudson throwing in the Diamondback bullpen. Chris so far has flied out and grounded out 0 for 2.
You know, we talked earlier in the ballgame about David Peralta and how hot he is and not in the starting lineup tonight, but there will be a spot that Chip will try to drop him in there, and Bruce Bochy's aware of that. He knows David Peralta sitting over there on the bench with Jake Lamb, so he gets his lefty up just in case Chip decides to pull Cliff Pennington back and send David Peralta up to the plate.
I was going to say, if CO gets on here, you then recall Penny and maybe play the Peralta card.
It depends on what Chip wants to do. He might send Penny up there to put down a sac bunt if both these guys reach to start the inning. A lot of different possibilities, and you have to make split-second decisions.
High in the air along the right field line, Hunter Pence. That's in foul territory for the first out.
You try to anticipate all the possibilities, all the options. Well, what happens if this guy reaches and then that guy makes an out? What happens if they both reach? What happens if they both make outs? Where are they at in their lineup? Who do they have available in their bullpen? Who do I have available on my bench? It all has to go into that computer and make a very quick decision on which direction you want to go.
So they announced Pennington as the hitter for Delgado. Hudson busy in the bullpen. And of course, Penny had a big night last night. His first home run of the season in a pinch hit appearance. And here he is again now at 248. Just the second pinch hit home run of his career. Six for 20 as a pinch hitter. That includes 5 bases on balls. And Penny hot lately, 15 hits in his last 35 at bats. There goes Aaron Hill. Pennington waves at that one, and there it is in there. The throw from Posey is offline. 5th stolen base of the year for Aaron Hill. And the tying run is in scoring position with 1 out. Good pitch to run on there.
Good pitch to run. Anything to the left of the catcher, it's going to be a lot tougher to get that front shoulder closed and get off an accurate throw. Crawford tries to come down and just does miss Aaron Hill as he slides underneath. Been there, Buster.
There's always that great reaction shot of Jorge Posada in 04 in the ALCS after Dave Roberts stole that base for the Red Sox on a really close play at second, fingertip. And there's that quick cutaway of Posada, who reacted exactly the way Buster Posey did there.
course, the Red Sox went on to win that game and then win the next 3 to come back and beat the Yankees on their way to a World Series. 1-2 on Pennington.
Well, won't be as big as Dave Roberts' stolen base in the postseason, but could be big in this game. Aaron Hill getting himself into scoring position with 1 out in the inning, trailing by a run.
It's a big game for the Diamondbacks. You got to snap this 5-game losing streak here and salvage something from this series. And you get the lucky scheduling break of opening up the second half with a long homestand coming out of the All-Star break. You've got to take advantage.
Look at the D-backs sneaking up on Billy Hamilton and the Reds. Only 4 behind now.
3-2 is on the ground to belt at first. This will move Aaron Hill to third, but that's the second out. Nick Ahmed now. Nick in the leadoff spot is 0 for 3 and 1 for his last 20 at the plate. Tying run at third with 2 outs.
Keep an eye on Matt Duffy at third base. If he happens to drop back behind the bag any distance at all, Nick Ahmed might try to drop a bunt down.
I'm all in on that with the way Nick's been bunting this year.
Yeah, he's been really good dropping bunt base hits down that third baseline.
Duffy not quite even with the bag down there. That one's bounced in the dirt, 1-0.
He's got 4 bunt base hits on the season.
They got Andy Green down there at third. They're having a quiet conversation.
Well, occasionally a hitter when he's in the on-deck circle, and I had guys do it all the time. Craig Counsell would do it. Gonzo used to do it from time to time. Hey, listen, if there's a runner at third base and they play a shift or that third baseman's back, let the third base coach know that I might bunt for a base hit. So I had a sign I used to give to Chris Spire, you know, alert the base runner there might be a bunt right here, because sometimes you can catch your own teammates by surprise.
Trying to get that tying run home from third with 2 outs.
Of course, when Craig Counsell or Tony Womack said it, I believed it. When Gonzo said it, I never really bought into the fact that he might try to bunt with a runner at third.
Gonzo will often, when he's in your chair, call for people to bunt, but he wouldn't do it himself. Gonzo's bounced another one up there, and Ahmed's ahead 2-0.
Pitch up that time.
This one there. Aaron looks like he's just waiting for a bus. If there's a play on, he's doing a good acting job. 2-2. Field, PENCE. Diamondbacks get that leadoff hit. They cannot get the run across. And after 7, they still trail it 2-1.
life. High-speed highlights presented by Cox and starring Dennis Lamb. The Gila River game summary. It's still a 2-1 ball game here. The Giants took a 2-1 lead back in the third on a 2-out RBI double by Hunter Pence. San Francisco has not had a base hit since. Diamondback pitchers have retired 13 of the last 14 they faced. The only base runner was a 1-out walk by Belt back in the 7th. And now Daniel Hudson's on to open up the 8th. He's got the sharp end of the stick here. PANIK, Duffy, and Posey 2, 3, and 4. Joe PANIK walked and scored in the third. He scored the go-ahead run on that Pence double. He is 0 for 2.
The Diamondbacks pitching staff has brought a little sanity back to this series. Giants pounded out 30 hits in the first 2 games, only 4 in the ball game today.
D-backs have out-hit the Giants 6-4. 96 misses inside, 1-1.
Yeah, and these are the guys that have done a lot of the damage in the first 2 games. You see the numbers across the top, and today a base hit by Posey and a RBI base hit by Hunter Pence.
Giants got the other run on a Justin Maxwell homer in the second. Hudson keeps trying to come inside on PANIK, but he's missing. It's 2-1 now. There's Justin Maxwell. The home run is 7th of the year. Two and 2. Joe PANIK third in the National League in hits, right behind Paul Goldschmidt. He's got 5 hits and a couple of walks in the series. He has scored 5 times.
PANIK part of that all homegrown infield for the Giants. Duffy, Crawford, PANIK, Belt, and the catcher Buster Posey all came through the system.
Not a bad group, huh? Base hit. That's the first hit for the Giants since Pence's 2-out double in the third. Brings up Matt Duffy. Duffy's been hit by a pitch and twice flied out, 0 for 2. Matt Duffy's a guy that won the Eastern League batting title in Double-A last year. Hit over .330 for the Richmond Flying Squirrels.
Flying Squirrels. Nice.
He's a good contact guy up there. And he drives this one to center. AJ's there, though. And that's the first out in the 8th.
Take that, Bullwinkle.
Got his Duffman logo on the bottom of the bat.
Catcher Buster Posey.
Now he'll deal with Buster Posey with 1 out. Posey singled in the first, 1 for 3. Struck out his last at bat against Randall Delgado. Chased a changeup down and away after pulling a fastball. If you got sad feet, we got fun socks. Fun sock day here at the ballpark.
Nothing to not have happy feet with socks like that.
Should start wearing those with some high pants in the ball games. Look good.
Hunter Pence would wear them.
You bet you. Third, a short hop. A nice backhand save by Chris Owings to get the force at second on PANIK. That was a tough play over there for CO.
A little bit of a risk to try to get the lead runner right there. You see Aaron juggling that ball as he was trying to dig it out of his glove. Probably didn't have a real good grip, but Chris Owings bails him out with a nice pick at second base for the force out.
Chaz Roberts, air conditioning, cool play of the game. Nice play with some COD. So a fielder's choice for POSEY. 5-4 on the putout of PANIK at second. 2 down, and here's Pence. An RBI double in the third. He's 1 for 3. Ball 1. Diamondbacks in the bottom of the 8th inning will have the heart of the order coming up. Inciarte, Goldschmidt, Pollock, 2, 3, and 4. By Wellington Castillo, an easy play for POSEY to move up on. And Pence is ahead of the count, 2-1. A wild pitch to Arch Daniel Hudson.
That'll be a wild pitch on Daniel. That change up in the dirt, but not a great effort that time by Wellington. Watch him just reach across and try to backhand that ball out of the dirt. He knows a change up is coming, and there's a chance that that pitch is going to end up in the dirt.
Get that body in front of it.
Yeah, try to shift over there onto that right shin guard, square your shoulders to the mound, and let it hit you somewhere.
So now you got to strand that insurance run down there in scoring position. Behind in the count on Pence. He does not get cheated. Pence. I mean, those pants look like his basement's flooded, doesn't it? I mean, those things are way over the knee. Not chasing that time, and it's full 3-2.
Such a good look for a guy with the burly calves that he has. Told the joke many times in the past, if this were a Western movie, you'd organize a posse to go try to find the rustlers that stole his calves.
Brandon Crawford, who has struck out all 3 times he's been up there. Here you go, Sheriff. Is on deck. 2 outs, 3-2 to Pence. POSEY the runner at second. Of course, Larry David does that great bit about a posse. If they had had answering machines back in the day, they never would have been able to round up the posse because you'd just let the machine take it. Yeah, this is Joe Johnson. We're getting together a posse. I want to know if you want to join us. You see him a week later. Oh, I just missed your call. I would have
missed. Yeah.
How'd it go? Did you find him?
The machine broke. We can make fun of Hunter Pence all we want, but the fact remains is you could win a lot of bar bets. If you ask people who has the most hits in the major leagues, going back to the beginning of the 08 season.
08.
Hunter Pence, top of the list.
With Houston, right? Phillies and now the Giants. One more 3-2 pitch.
Got him! Daniel Hudson right by him in 97. Hardy cranks it up and he strands that leadoff single. He keeps it a 2-1 ball game. Inciarte, Goldie, AJ coming up.
our guest analyst today, J.J. Putz from the Diamondbacks front office, and we are here for D-Backs Live, the post-game show right after the game. All right, a lot to break down here in this one. We talked about Bumgarner versus Corbin today. J.J., what were your impressions of Patrick?
I thought Patrick did a great job establishing his fastball. His slider was as nasty as it was before he had the surgery, and I think he just made really one mistake. Left the fastball up, and Maxwell was able to take him oppo.
This game is there for the taking. Just need to get a little offense going. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
Thank you, guys. He'll have to start against the left-hand specialist, Javier Lopez. His 45th appearance, a 1.85 ERA, and there to work to Ender Inciarte. He leads off the 8th. Ender so far 0 for 3. Giants bullpen is really busy down there. You've got the two righties up next, Goldie and A.J. Pollock. Duffy well in on the grass at third. A 1-1 count to Inciarte. Lefties this year 6 for 49 against Lopez. And they get 6 for 50. One away in the 8th.
Thanks for stopping by, Javier.
Mission accomplished. The ultimate loogie, the lefty one-out guy. And he got his one out, and Al Bochy is going to get his right-hander. Diamondbacks trying to snap this 5-game losing streak and avoid a sweep at the hands of the defending champs, who are just ahead of them in the NL West. One out in the 8th inning. They're still down 2-1. Pitching change back after this. Hunter Strickland, the hard-throwing right-hander, on for the Giants. Strickland worked in last night's ball game. Came in the 7th inning. 2 of the 3 batters he faced, he struck out. Paul Goldschmidt and A.J. Pollock, and he'll face Goldie and A.J. here with one away in the 8th.
But the order's different today. See, that's the key. Yesterday, A.J. was hitting in front of Goldie. Today, he's hitting behind it.
And here is Paul Goldschmidt. Strickland struck him out to lead off the 8th inning last night. Goldie 2 for 3, a double and a single. Drops the breaking ball in there for a strike. 0-1. This guy can help it up to consistent 97 territory. Saw that last night. A lot of heat. Easy fly ball right center field. Pence coming over. Pagano wants it. 2 down. Here's A.J. Pollock.
Center fielder, A.J. Pollock.
A.J. singled his last time up. He's 1 for 3. Osich is warming up in the Giant bullpen, chafing for the Diamondbacks.
Let's go.
Base hit. Tying runs aboard with 2 outs in the 8th. Pollock 2 for 4.
On that first fastball, you see, he sends it right back up the middle of the field. Imagine AJ is going to look to get a jump over there at first base if at all possible. Dave McKay comes over to whisper a few words of encouragement into his ear.
Wellington Castillo walked and scored in the second. He has struck out twice, 0 for 2.
Imagine the Giants will pick over there at least once, maybe more. And we've seen the Giants pitch out in this series. Usually it's been when the pitcher's been way ahead in the count, 0-2, 1-2. But Bruce Bochy, being a former catcher, he knows when you get a base stealer on in a 1-run game late that he's going to try to get a jump and get down into scoring position.
Pollock holds. That one misses away, and it's 1-0. So if I'm Wellington Castillo, I'm probably looking all fastball here, right?
Well, you would think so. I mean, you're always ready to hit fastball against Hunter Strickland because that's basically his go-to pitch in all situations. But you know, a lot of times a veteran hitter in this situation, they're going to give AJ every opportunity to get himself into scoring position, even if that means cutting your at bat down to 1 swing.
He holds again. Well, he knocks it into left, a base hit. 2 on and 2 out. And here comes Yasmani Tomas. Talk about a coach on the field in these situations. How about this guy? Yasmani today singled in the second. He has struck out and grounded out, 1 for 3. He is 1 for 10 in the series. 2 on, 2 out, 8th inning, down a run. Up there on a breaking ball. Strickland has pitched in every game this series. Only 5 pitches in that Friday night marathon. 14 pitches last night. Two and 1.
Opposing hitters this season against Hunter Strickland, 7 for 18 with runners in scoring position. I think he changed his delivery a little bit, especially when he's got base stealers on base. With nobody on, he's very deliberate, very relaxed. Getting runners on base, his delivery gets a little bit quicker.
Very good speed at second, almost no speed at first in Wellington Castillo. 2 balls and a strike. Lifts it in the air, right field. Pence has room. And he's got it just shy of the warning track. The Diamondbacks strand 2. We go to the 9th, and they still trail it 2-1. And as promised earlier in the ball game, the Brenly Committee has adjourned, and we have the Data Strong fan photo of the game. There it is.
Huh? See?
Oh, that's when Josh was doing that. It's like a yoga deal. What is it? Oh, the gargoyle. Remember that? That was big last year. He's doing his gargoyle pose there.
And like we say, if you get a player or Dee Baxter, anybody in your photo, you've got a real good chance of making air.
So tweet us your strongest fan photo, but remember, use the hashtag AZDataStrongFan, and your picture might turn up on the TV. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Andrew Chafin, who worked Friday in the ball game through 19 pitches, is on to work the ninth. Brandon Crawford, who has struck out all 3 times he's been up, leads it off for the Giants. Diamondbacks, as part of their roster moves earlier today before the ball game, sent Enrique Burgos down to AAA Reno and brought up Matt Stites. So Stites is a fresh on back there. Backhand stop by Owens, plants and throws. One away, and that's another nice play by Chris Owens, who's had a nice series defensively.
Well, and that defensive play by Chris Owens should end Brandon Crawford's 10-game hitting streak here at Chase Field. A lot of Giants had real good streaks here at Chase. I came up with a theory last night. I was listening to you and the Gub and Money on the Snake Talk show.
Oh, yeah, sure, as everybody does.
Yeah.
And?
You know, and what, a 10 straight series the Giants have won here at Chase Field.
Yeah.
I think it really comes back to the fact that a lot of these Giants players make their home here in the Valley. They spring train in Scottsdale. It's like coming home. Their second home.
Well, we just got to get them to move.
Yeah, that's it. Move them to Florida for spring training.
Call Jim Brewski. Maxwell homered in the second, his 7th of the year. And the Giants, with their win last night, have now won 10 straight series at Chase Field. Last time they lost a series here, April of 2012.
That's got to change.
And their streak of 10 straight series wins here in Arizona, the longest active streak in the major leagues for consecutive series wins at one opponent's ballpark. Gets a hold of another one. Way back. And A.J. Pollock, he'll go corner to corner, gap to gap. He made a terrific catch in the left center field gap earlier. And he's got that one in right in front of the pool. 2 down.
A.J. looked like he was timing his steps, getting ready to make a leap against that wall if necessary, and then realized he could make the catch staying on his feet, crashing up against that wall.
So here's Brandon Belt, who has doubled and walked 1 for 2. Belt only at $155 against left-hand pitching this year. Diamondbacks in the home half of the 9th inning. 7-8-9 due up. Hill, Owens in the pitcher spot. Keep in mind, as Bob mentioned earlier, you got Peralta back there on the bench. The secret weapon today. They've already used Dorn and Pennington to pinch hit. Santiago Casilla, the closer, warming up in the Giant bullpen. And he looks ready. Castillo worked an inning here Friday night. 2-2 on Brandon Belt. Boy, last year this guy just tortured the Diamondbacks at over .330 versus the D-backs. 4 homers in 10 games. But this year, now in 12 games against the Diamondbacks, he's hit barely over .160. Chopper to Goldie. He hustles to the bag and beats him. Chafin works. So 1, 2, 3, 9. So here we go. 2-1 ball game. Bottom 9 coming up, trying to avoid the sweep here at Chase. Corbin, our Arizona Federal Credit Union Power Player of the Game, his 3rd start back from Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, once again, we've talked about it at length already this afternoon, but results are always important, especially for a competitor like Patrick. But you really have to be pleased with his outing today. Only 4 base hits in the 5 innings. Didn't show some of the signs of fatigue that we saw last time out at Citi Field in New York.
Diamondbacks down 2-1, bottom 9 we go. The closer is on for the Giants. Santiago Casilla, 23 for 27 in his save chances this year. That ranks him 7th in the National League. Keep this in mind, though, when you're looking at Casilla. Right-hand hitters against him this year, $197. Lefties almost .330, and you've got 2 big left-hand bats down the bench there in Peralta and Lamb. Hill, Owings, and the pitcher spot, 7, 8, 9 in the Diamondback 9th. There's strike 1. Aaron 2 for 3, a pair of singles. He's stolen a base. One and 2. Close.
That's a good take right there. I'm not sure whether it was a strike or not, but there's nothing you can do good with that pitch. Slider looked like to be at the bottom of the east, just off that outside corner. They get the call from Paul Nart behind the plate. That's a ground ball waiting to happen right there.
Center field, Pagan. One away for Chris Owings.
Second baseman, Chris Owings.
CO today 0 for 3. He's got 3 hits in the series, including a home run.
jumps on the first one and knocks it into left. Chris Owings, tying runs aboard with a 1 out. It really looks, BB, in this series like it's starting to come around for CO.
Yeah, it really is. His bat is much flatter coming through the hitting zone. Had a real tilt to his bat while he was struggling there for a while, fouling a lot of balls off to the right side, but getting the barrel to the ball much quicker, much flatter swing. Keeps that bat in the strike zone for a long time.
So here you go, the secret weapon. Been down there on the end of the bench all night long. The hottest hitter in the Diamondback lineup right now, David Peralta, 276 and 9 homers. Number 9 came last night. An opposite field home run against Jake Peavy. Five hits in the series, 4 of them for extra bases. 3 triples and a home run. And David now leads the National League with 7 triples, and no player in the major leagues has more extra base hits this month than David Peralta. 11 extra base hits in 12 games in July. He's ahead 1-0. Keep in mind, left-hand batters against Santiago Casilla this year, hitting .327. Owings bluffs and holds, and they'll stay out of the double play.
Well, Joe.
CO started for second, stopped about a quarter away there, and then continued on. So the tying run in scoring position now with 2 outs.
That was just a bluff. He had no intention of going. He was looking back at home plate the whole time, but occasionally you can get the catcher a little jumpy back there behind the plate, coming up out of his crouch early. Peralta grounds that ball to Panic at second. 2 outs now with the tying run in scoring position for the pinch hitter, Jake Lamb.
And they're going to use that other left-hand bat down there on the bench. Lamb will hit for Ahmed. Jake, 276, 2 homers. He is 2 for 9 in the series, a pair of singles. Strike 1. Jake, exactly 30 games now since he came off the DL. He's hit under .240, 5 extra base hits. A roller, left side. Duffy cuts him through. Crawford throws him out, and the Giants sweep the series. The Diamondbacks losing streak stretches to 6 games. They are swept to close the season's first half and swept to open up the second half.
You know, it's very small consolation when you get swept by the team ahead of you in the standings, but a much cleaner game today for the Diamondbacks. They did what they had to do. Unfortunately, just couldn't come up with enough offense against Mad Bum and this Giants bullpen.
So the homestand continues. Tomorrow, the first of 3 against the Marlins. Milwaukee in for 4 after that. De La Rosa and Phelps tomorrow. Diamondback Live pregame show comes your way at 6 o'clock. First pitch at 6:40 here on Fox Sports Arizona. Diamondback Live postgame show will wrap up this one. JJ Putz is standing by with Jody Jackson. Jody.
Post-game show coming your way next. JJ, not a lot of opportunities against Madison Bumgarner today, but you talk about the second inning. I mean, D-backs did have some chances, but just couldn't seem to convert.
They did. It's unfortunate they got him out after the 5th inning and weren't able to capitalize on some scoring opportunities, but that's the game of baseball, and you look forward to tomorrow.
No question about it. Unfortunately, a sweep here by the Giants. Coming up in the post-game, we'll get JJ's take on Patrick Corbin's performance tonight, as well as Madison Bumgarner's. Kate Longworth will be in the clubhouse. She'll get reaction to today's game, as well as we will hear from Chip Hale, the manager, as we always do here on the post-game show. Giants sweep the D-backs. The final here today, 2-1. Diamondbacks Live, presented by CenturyLink, comes your way next. JJ Putz alongside. Stay with us. It's next here on Fox Sports Arizona.